I'm finally able to film an English version of the video with my friend Danny. So Danny is most active on X. You can find him on Danny Cheng 2022. And you can also see that he has a Patreon there as well with the link with his handle being Danny Trades. He has a very unique system and it's always good to have more confirmation to, try and figure out what you're looking at. And it's always good to have people who are friendly and nice who are able to share ideas with you. So here we go. Mel. I'm Danny Cheng. Hey, everybody. I got Danny
Hello, good
Cheng
morning
here.
and good evening.
We're going to try to do an English version here. So basically, I just wanted to share with you guys his charts. Particularly, we're just going to focus on one chart here in different time frames, NVIDIA. Take a symbol NVDA. And I'm going to let him kind of talk through his process, going to let him show you what his charts is all about. And go ahead, Danny.
Okay, thanks. So I think you did the recording once about how to read my charts more effectively last time. Can you remember that?
Yeah, that was a long time ago. They can use a
Uh,
refresher course and they can hear it directly from you.
okay, fine. Okay, um, so to the screen. Um, so as you can see, there are 5 panels in my system. So I would like to start with the first panel. Okay, so you can see that there are 2 ribbons which represent different trends. So as you can see, the red ribbon means the uptrend,
Mhm,
while the blue ribbon
mhm,
implies the downtrend.
mhm,
Okay, so at the same time, you will find that there are 4 different types of candles. Sorry, the 4 different colors of the candles. Um, Red candles,
mhm,
yellow candles, light blue candles, and
mhm,
also the dark blue candles.
mhm,
Okay, so each color represents different trends. For example, take a look at the red candles. So they mean bullish to me. Okay, so it means that the uptrend is coming if you see the red candle. Okay, and after the red candle, you will find that there are lots of dark blue candles, which mean the continuation of the uptrend.
mhm,
However, if you see yellow candles, it means they mean bearish, which mean that the downtrend is coming.
mhm.
Okay, so after yellow candles, you will find the light blue candles, which mean the continuation of the bearish trend. Okay, so it's just that simple. So in observing panel 1, what you have to do is to look at the different colors of the ribbons and also the different colors of the candles.
Mhm. So to summarize, you're looking at whether or not there's a bull trend, which is pretty simplified by looking at whether or not there's a red ribbon or blue ribbon, and also if you see the red candles over here is buy signal, if you sell the yellow candle over here, generally a sell signal. The dark blue is continuation of bullishness, and the light blue is the continuation of bearishness, right? So
Exactly.
so one thing that we talked about is if price actually got a little bit too far away from the ribbon let's say if it's like a red ribbon, if price got way too far above the red ribbon, sometimes that can serve as, a little bit of a force to try and put it back to gravity to get it closer to the ribbon, right? Same thing on a downtrend. If it gets too far from the blue ribbon, sometimes price would end up getting pulled back closer to the ribbon, right? So that's
Exactly.
yeah, that's another thing to kind of pay attention to. Um, so I also want you to talk a little bit about these bars over here, like these numbers over here. What do they mean?
Okay, so you will also find that there are some blue bars in panel 1. Okay, so and you will find also some of the numbers over there. Okay,
Mhm,
so all these blue bars they are calculated by the computer system. Okay, so actually they are based on the previous largest transactions. So to me, they can be both the support levels as well as the resistance levels. For example, from the charts of Nvidia in panel 1, you will find um, the number 901.471. Can you find this price? Okay, so to me, so this can act as a resistance level. Okay, and the second bar, so that is 875.873. So this to me can be the support level. So what these numbers mean to me is that, okay, so if Nvidia is trading between this range, okay, so 875 can be the support level, whereas 901 can be the resistance level. Okay, so
yeah, you can see that actually served as a little bit of resistance level for this red candle over here that actually turned into a sell signal over here. So yeah, that's indeed the case. And there are also some other bars down here. I think you're able to see on your own computer screen if you want to look up where these other
yes, exactly. So right. So actually I can find those numbers based on my system if I move down. But so what the system shows is just those very big transactions with their prices, with their previous price levels.
Yeah. But there could be some additional support level, let's say between now, let's say for
Exactly.
example, before it gets to 722.
Okay, just for example, so if 875.8 is broken, so the next support level is 830. Okay, so but you can't see that, but you can still see the blue bar over there.
Yeah.
Okay, but you can't find the price levels.
Okay. So I think that
what I would do is to give a range of these support levels and resistance levels for the traders. Okay. However, okay, for long-term holders, now we don't really care much about the daily chart.
And I think that's all I can think about talking about panel one. Anything else about panel one before we move on?
Okay, so did we miss out anything in panel one?
No, I think we talked about the candle. We talked about
we talked about the ribbons, and we talked about what else? The candles, and also the support and resistance levels. Okay, so I think so far so good. Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about panel two. What do these kind of like green to red kind of thing? What do they represent? Or red to green? What do they represent?
Okay. So in panel two, okay, so to me it's just a mimic, a short representation of panel one, but just in different forms, in different formats, and we call this panel trend expert. Okay, abbreviate TE. Okay, because it gives you the direction of the trend. However, there are some bars and also some lines which I would like to talk about. So first of all, you will find the red bar and also the green bar, but very small one. Okay, so actually the red bar is short-term uptrend, while the green bar is short-term downtrend. Okay, so for example, if there's a change of the color in the bar from red to green, it means from bullish to bearish. Okay, and vice versa. For example, from green to red, it means from bearish to bullish. Okay, so at the same time, you will also find the uptrend line, okay, which is purple. Can you see that?
Yeah, the purple
so just right behind so just right below the bar. So the purple line is also an indication of the uptrend. So anyway, purple means bullish.
Yeah.
And somewhere in the middle, you will find that the line changes from purple to green.
Yeah, right there.
Okay, so that means downtrend. So remember, it's doing like 150, 756, something like this, 2 weeks ago. So the trend line became green at that time. Okay, so and now the trend line was back to purple.
Yeah,
because the momentum was gaining. For Nvidia.
Yeah.
Okay, so in panel two, to sum up, what you need to look at is the green bar and also the red bar, and also the trend line.
Yeah.
So make sure that we can tell from the colors. So
Yeah.
they all colors have a special meaning.
So a couple of things to add to as I was looking at this chart for you for over the last few months already. You can see that these trend change, let's say usually from green to red, usually anticipate a buy signal, right? That's like an early signal
Exactly.
that maybe there's a trend change that's coming, right? Same thing when it goes from red to green over here, it signifies, hey, maybe there's a trend change that's going to come. Usually these things over here on the panel too, with the red to green or green to red, they're more sensitive compared to the buy signal up here and the sell signal
Yeah.
down. They usually happen maybe like one or two candles before that happens. I guess the buy signal and sell signal is waiting for confirmation before, giving you that bar, right? But if you really want
Okay.
if you really want to get ahead of the trend, I guess you can look at this signal here that might be a little bit earlier. So
Yeah. So that's why we have to look at panel 1 and panel 2 side by side for comparison of the trend. So actually the signals are come in a special order. So it's what you said. In panel 2, usually the signals come first if you want to buy or if you want to sell. For example, okay, from red to green. So from red to green, that means sell signal.
yeah.
Okay, and from green to red, that means buy signal. So usually, this signal comes first, and then back to panel 1, red candle. Okay, so that's the second signal which we have to pay attention to. Okay, and finally the ribbon.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's usually the color of the ribbon changes after the first two signals appear.
Yeah. It can take quite a few candles for that to happen, actually. Yeah. So okay.
Okay, so yeah, all right. Okay, so let's move down to the next panel. The next panel is extremely important, as you can see, because we can find the ratio between the wealth accumulation and retail accumulation. Okay, so as you can see that there are 40 different colors: the green bar, the yellow bar, and also the red bar. So the green bar means retail accumulation, which we also pay attention to, okay, or when observing the trend. The yellow bars mean daily traders, which we don't care about. So that's why we try to ignore yellow bars because they are not important. Okay, they are just daily traders. And finally, the most important thing to look at is the wealth accumulation, red bars. Okay, so the longer the red bars, the more accumulation from the wealth.
Yeah. So just judging by
So as you can see, yeah. So
yeah,
as you can see, for example, if we move to the left side, the very left,
yeah.
you will find that Nvidia has have very strong wealth accumulation. Can you see that? So for my system, usually above 90% of the retail accumulation from the very left to the middle of panel 3. And when there was strong accumulation like this, you will find back to panel 1, you will find that the red ribbon was very steep, actually. Okay, it was very steep, and the momentum was very fast, very high. Okay, so you will find that there's a rising red ribbon. Okay, so at the time, Nvidia was trading like for 400 something in early January this year. Okay, and the momentum picked up and it rose to 974. Okay, so almost a double. Okay, however, okay, if you check the recent trend in panel 1, the blue ribbon, which means the downtrend, and at the same time, if you look at panel 3, you will find that there was a drop in wealth accumulation. Okay, let me check. Okay, the lowest that I could see. For example, can you just go to panel 1? The blue ribbon with somewhere in the middle. The lowest wealth accumulation was around 43%.
Yeah,
Okay,
43%.
and yeah, and that's the time when Nvidia was trading like 750 something or 760 something.
Mhm.
Okay. All right. So in summary, the longer the red bars, the more accumulation from the bells. So that's why when we observing the trend, we have to pay attention to the increase or decrease in well accumulation. Okay. Yeah. And another thing that we look at is the retail accumulation. Okay, the less the better. And for stock to run, usually we need more than 50% of the well accumulation. And for the stock to soar, we need at least 75% of well accumulation, just like what we talk about from the very beginning of January. Okay, when Nvidia was trading like for 400 something, for 490 or 480 to $500. Okay, so you will find that all this well accumulation was very healthy actually. Okay, usually above 90%.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So if you look at it right now, all the you had a red candle over here, you have a buy signal over here, you had an uptrend with the trend changing from green to purple, and you also have retails leaving. So this daily trend's actually looking better and better, although it doesn't have the same degree of the well accumulation that you like, but it's at least around 50%. So it's positive, right?
So currently, so the most update repar was around 52.78%. Okay, of the well accumulation. And the good thing to say is that there's no green bar. Can you see that? Nvidia has no green bars for 6 days in a row. Okay, so in other words, even though we don't have much well accumulation at the moment, we don't have any green bars. Okay, which is a good thing to see, because usually when you see lots of green bars, that means retail accumulation. The stock doesn't have that momentum to run.
Yeah.
So for the stock to regain the momentum, first of all, we need to see all these green bars disappear. So the first rule. The second rule is that we need to see an increase of the well accumulation, little by little.
Yeah. And I think the next anything else on panel 3 before we move on to the next two?
Okay, so did we miss out anything important in panel 3?
No, I think it's pretty important. I think you mentioned a lot of important things already. I think the most important thing I think to your system is really the signal, the ribbon, and the color change on the panel 2, as well as the well accumulation and the retail accumulation.
So that's what we need. We need to, if we can observe all these signals at one time. Okay, so our confidence, we become more confident of buying these stocks or selling them.
Because these are pretty valuable information. The two panels underneath is more for confirmation. The panel 4 is MACD, the daily MACD. A lot of people use it.
Yeah.
You can use it for confirmation of a trend change. And sure enough, I had a bullish cross over here just about a week or two ago. And the same thing with the down here is 3 different sets of RSI using I think like your period 9, 14, and 24. If they're stacking on the right way, like if 9's over 14 over 24, then this technically is bullish, right? So it's these are more like momentum indicators.
Yeah.
I think that they're just in addition to what you have, and you like to look at those for confirmation. But most valuable to your system, I think, is the first 3 panels.
Yeah, and as you can see, from the daily chart of Nvidia, in panel 4, MACD did a very nice golden cross. Okay, just a week ago. Can you see that? Yeah, and I think this signal gives me more confidence. If you go back to the very left, so actually, when Nvidia was trading like 490 something, so both fast line and short lines were above 0. So above 0 is a very important number which I look at. So I need to make sure that first of all they do a golden crossover. Second, I need to make sure that both lines are above 0. Okay, so for the confirmation of the uptrend. So if you take a look at all these signals, for example, from panel 1, the ribbons, the colors of the candles, and the second panel, the green bar, the red bar, and also the purple line, and also the increase of well accumulation. along with the MACD doing the golden cross above zero, I can be very confident of buying or holding or adding Nvidia shares in my portfolio.
Yeah, it's a good system. Anything else on a daily before I move on to the weekly?
Okay, so I think that everything should be very clear for the time being.
Yeah, let's move on to weekly and see. You get a
Okay.
completely different picture if you look at a weekly. Go
All
for
right. Okay. So in panel one, okay, let me test your knowledge. So
it.
I'm sorry. I need to I need to make it more funny instead of me giving all the instructions. So let's try some exercise so that our followers can understand. They can just test how much they do understand about the charts. Okay, so for example, in panel one of the weekly chart, so what have you seen about the color of the candle? The most recent one.
I mean, the most recent one is just a
Yeah.
red buy candle right up here on the weekly
Yeah.
last week. Even though it's really tiny, it's still a buy signal. The
Yes.
size of it doesn't really matter as much as long as the color is red.
Exactly. Size doesn't matter.
I'm a good
Okay.
student.
Yes,
I, yeah.
so am I.
That's also was a conventional wisdom anyway. Size doesn't matter. So yeah, I like that.
Yes, exactly. So I like this expression. Size doesn't matter. It's the color which matters. Okay, so usually I get asked by many people whether the size matters, and usually I told them don't care. You don't have to care about the size. What you need to look at is the color of
The color.
candle. And
Mhm.
as you can see, so based on the historical trends, whenever you see the red candle,
Mhm.
usually you will find that Nvidia was picking up lots of momentum.
Yeah. Look
Yeah.
at the
So
previous. Yeah, look at previous red
yes.
candle. The one before that. It
So
just
let's check
kept on
the
going. Yeah.
very first red candle. So that red candle appeared on, oh my God, 20th January last year.
Yeah.
Okay, so at the time, Nvidia was trading like, for example, $167
I think you talked
to
about
$178.
it.
Okay, very low.
Yeah. Yeah. And it just
and
kept on
and
going like
actually,
for months and months and
yeah,
months and months. And
yeah,
you
this
never,
reminds me of my first purchase in Nvidia last year.
yeah.
So actually, I just follow the system. Okay, for example, when Nvidia was doing very low last year in early January,
Mhm.
everyone was very scared about Nvidia dropping below $100.
Yeah.
Okay. However, if you just listen to all these market noises, you would never have the courage to buy Nvidia. However, following my system and also the red candle, I did the first
Yeah.
first good thing. So
Yeah.
buying Nvidia, accumulating
I
Nvidia.
remember the news, they're all talking about, yeah, how there's like all these chip inventories and how they're never going to be able to get rid of it. There's no demand.
Exactly.
Next thing you know, there's a red can over here. You can see like panel three over here too. You can see like the retails are leaving and the accumulation from whales are starting to increase right around the red candle. So yeah, it's a very nice system.
Yeah, and also at the time you will find that there was also a change in the color of the ribbon from blue to red.
Yeah,
Okay,
right
so
around.
actually we have two confirmations. So the red candle and also
Mhm.
the change of from the blue to red
Mhm.
ribbon, and also in panel two, the green line
Turn to
changed to
purple.
purple.
Yeah.
Okay, so the
Yeah.
third confirmation, and
Yep.
also if you go down to panel three, you will
Yeah.
find that there was a steady increase of well
Yeah.
accumulation as well.
Yeah.
So four confirmations, and if you go down to fourth panel,
Hmm.
MACD,
Yeah.
so actually, yeah,
It just kept going.
both
It's go
lines
about,
were
yeah. It goes
above
about zero.
zero.
Yeah, it goes about
Yeah,
zero
so
around there. And the RSI is
even
like
without
expanding. Yeah.
even without looking at RSI, everything was doing fine. Every signal
Yeah.
told you to buy Nvidia at the time when people were just panic.
Yeah. Yeah. Awesome, man. I mean, look at how that
Yeah.
red Credo turned out for like months and months and
So
months and
do
months. It
you
just,
think
yeah, it just
do you
kept
think
going
the
up.
historical
It
pattern?
just
Do
kept
you think
going
the
up.
histor yeah, do you think that the historical pattern will repeat where when we see the red candle last week?
It's already got a strong red ribbon. I think the sell signal over here was, I guess it was warranted, but yeah, but the red ribbon's already strong, so I think the trend's already strong. Like it's
Mm.
kind of crazy that it's never really turned blue ribbon for a very, very, very long time. So for for over a year actually. So
Yeah. So can you also find the support level in the chart?
you can still see the bar, you know.
880
Yeah,
point one
880,
one.
111. Yep,
Yeah.
it's up.
So
Yep,
now last week Nvidia closed at 898.
yep,
So that was a little bit higher than the support level. So we
yeah,
treat this blue bar the support level. Okay,
yeah,
so on the weekly chart, we can't find the resistance level.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
you know,
So for the time, I can't check the resistance level. So that's why
yeah,
we
I
have
think
to go back to the daily chart.
yeah, probably it's a little bit too small up here. So one
Yeah.
thing I do want to add is I absolutely hate the weekly
Mm.
MACD, the MACD. I absolutely hate the weekly MACD because it always
Yeah.
is delayed. If
Yeah.
you
I hate
uh,
that.
yeah, it's a horrible time frame to use MACD at. I just never like to use the weekly MACD because it looked like you
Mm.
might have a little bit of bearish crossover here, but you have a buy
Mm.
signal. So I
Yeah.
anyway, yeah,
So technically speaking, it's a lagging indicator.
yeah,
The MACD, I mean. However, if we go back to panel 1, 2, 3, okay,
yeah,
so we once again quick sum up. The red candle that we see in panel 1, okay,
yep,
bullish signal,
yep,
and the second
mm-hmm,
panel, green changes to red bar,
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
another bullish signal, and also the purple line is still with us.
mm-hmm,
Okay, panel 3. So even though there is a very slight drop in value accumulation, okay, let me see. Can you see that there's a slight drop in
it's
the value
negligible.
accumulation?
Yeah, it's very,
Very, yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah. It's very tiny, but we wouldn't need to care actually. The value accumulation is still close to 90%,
yeah,
89.815.
very nice.
So very close to 90%. So as I said before, so we need 75% of the value accumulation for the stock
Yeah,
to run,
yeah,
for the stock to soar. Okay, so Nvidia actually has met all the criteria.
mm-hmm,
Okay, so in spite of the lagging indicator, MACD,
yeah,
everything looks very bullish on the weekly chart.
yeah. Can you imagine people selling because there's going to be a bearish cross on MACD? Anyway, um,
Yeah.
but yeah, very nice. You want to move to the monthly? It's going to give you a very
Okay,
different picture here. So let's do it.
so
This
let's
is the
check the
one.
monthly chart. Okay, now the monthly chart. Okay, so what have you seen? The blue ribbons. So you will find that they're very. Let me see. So they are too small, very
Yeah,
thin
they're not around for
blue
that long.
ribbons. Yeah. So actually, these blue ribbons appeared in the last two bearish cycle.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the first blue ribbon appeared. Let me check the dates in 2019 May
Yeah.
to January. So actually, the blue ribbon um, lasts
Mm-hmm.
for how long? 6 months.
Yeah,
Can you see?
maybe a little longer than that. Yeah, but somewhere around
Yeah,
there, like 8 months or so.
yeah.
But then this current
And
recent one, yeah,
and the recent one, yeah, okay. So the blue ribbon appeared in, let me see, October 2022.
yeah,
Okay, so the blue ribbon changes to red color around April
yeah,
2023. So
yeah,
once again, another 6 months. So historically speaking, the bearish trend for Nvidia lasts for only 6 months, and the rest of the time it was rising.
yeah. And you can also see the same correlate with the green curve on the panel too. And you can also see
Yeah,
the retail coming in during the bear market. But when
exactly.
yeah,
Okay, so usually I get asked by many people when the best time to sell Nvidia is. Okay, so usually I tell them not to care too much about the daily chart.
Yeah.
or even the weekly chart. However, what you need to look at is the monthly chart, even though you are a long-term investor,
Yeah.
because the market always gives you plenty of chances to buy back.
Yeah.
Okay, so for me, okay, I will sell if I see the yellow candle in panel one on the monthly chart. This is a very important sell signal, and every time the yellow candle comes up, it is always almost 99% accurate.
Yeah.
At the same time, if you check panel three, the retail investor rush in.
Yeah.
Okay, so whenever the yellow candle appears on the monthly chart, the retail investors rush in, and this why we have the green bar, and this is the best time to sell. We
Yeah.
don't sell at the top. However, if we sell when the yellow candles appear, we can really avoid the whole bearish cycle.
Yeah.
Okay, and when do we have to buy? So when the red candles appear again.
Yeah.
So on the monthly chart, there are only two red candles.
Mhm.
So the first one, let me check the dates. August 2019, when Nvidia was trading at around $43.
Yeah.
And the and then and the reason red candle appeared in the middle of the blue ribbon, as you can see, when Nvidia was trading like $140.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you follow all these signals, okay, so you're making tons of money.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like if you follow this, this is actually very, very reliable in the monthly here. So I
Exactly. Okay,
yeah,
so that's why we like the monthly chart because
yeah,
it gives us a very long term
yeah.
direction.
I do want to add to, and I'm going to show you the data from like
Oh, yes, one more
Fintel.io.
thing. Okay, one more thing before I
Go ahead.
forget. Okay, so in panel two, so
Mhm.
as we talk about the green bar and also the red bar, the small green bar, this can you find it? Okay, so let's check the accuracy of these signals from red to green, from green to red. So once again, you will find that the accuracy is very high,
Yeah. They
even
they
on the
all
monthly chart.
they all follow about a
And
month or two ahead of the buy or sell signal, actually. It's
also you can we just check the last one, two, three, four, five, the last 5 bars in panel two?
yeah.
What have you noticed the differences compared with those previous red bars?
I mean, it's just a lot bigger in terms of the
Exactly.
size.
Okay, so exactly. So this is the point which I would like to highlight. So you will find that all these red bars are, so let me check once again. So they are very thick, first of all, and they are very tall,
Hmm.
very long. Okay, I think I have to use the right word, the very long bars. So that means that they have more momentum. So in
Yeah.
other words, the longer the red bars,
Yeah.
the more momentum they
Yeah.
have.
Yeah.
Okay, so you will find that why Nvidia was rising so fast,
Mhm.
especially in the first half of this year, because
Yeah.
of the momentum. Okay, so it is also a momentum indicator when you find very long
Yeah.
red bars in panel one. Okay, and of course in panel three you will find that okay, oh my God, the wealth accumulation reached more than 97%. So
Hmm.
all these long-term funds, institutions, and wealth are there,
Yeah.
despite the recent drop to 750 something.
Yeah, speaking of which, I just want to have you notice this dip right here where there's a less of, institutions and more retail. If you look at Fintel.io, you see the dip over here too.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
can see the dip. It's like almost line up exactly like the dip that you're seeing over here. And for the
yeah.
last cycle, there's also a dip over here. You can also see it on
Mm.
the last cycle. You see the same exact dip over here. So these are actually, I find them to be quite reflective of institutional accumulation too. It's very, very similar.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
we have about like 4 minutes. You want to go through like the quarterly chart as well?
Okay, sure.
Yeah. So
Okay. So what have you seen
I mean,
in
you've seen the same thing,
on
but
the
it's
quarterly
really
chart?
delayed. Like by the time when the buy signal, it's already been like 3 months. So you might already miss a lot of gains if you see by the time you sell at the yellow signal, it's already been 3 months. You might have already made a lot of loss. So I think that monthly is probably the best time frame to look at your system.
Yeah, exactly. So for the quarterly chart, once again in panel 2, you will find that while the momentum was super high. Can you see that the red bars, the recent quarter? Okay.
Yeah, amazing.
And also the wealth accumulation. Oh, let me check. More than 90, around 99%.
Yeah.
Okay, so the long-term funds are really fully invested in Nvidia.
Yeah, it's quite amazing actually.
Yeah.
Right.
And there's no blue ribbon. Oh yes, there was one. There was one.
Back then, like this is like ancient history now. Like, these are
Well,
quarterly.
yeah. So the ribbon, the blue ribbon, appeared in 2010.
Yeah.
From 2010 to when? Let me check. To 2013.
Yeah.
Okay, it lasts for 3 years. Okay, so
Yeah.
at the time I think that I didn't even know what Nvidia was about.
Right. Yeah. I mean,
So
that's like ancient history.
we were not
I mean,
investing
sure,
or trading the
if you
US
bought
stocks.
back then good for you, But yeah, those
Yeah.
are a bit, yeah.
Oh my God, the price was $2.5 at that time. Okay.
I
Wow.
know. It's pretty
My
amazing.
God. Wow. 1,000x backer.
Yeah. Yeah. It's pretty amazing. Yeah, so the whole summary from the last few slides from your chart is basically that you got a buy signal with multiple confirmation in your system that it on the monthly that it seems that we may be at the beginning of a bull trend again.
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah. So I want to just pull up a few confirmation here. There are a couple of things that I want to pull up here. One that I have available is something called the Black Cat, L3 Banker Fund Flow Trend Oscillator.
Mhm.
In matter of fact, I
So,
think it
so this
actually
can be
matches.
found from tradingview.com.
Yeah, this is available from TradingView.com. You can search under indicator Blackhead L3 Banker Fund Flow Trend Oscillator. This actually shows you the inflow, supposedly shows you the inflow data from whales. It doesn't really show you
Okay.
retail. It doesn't really give you a nice buy or sell signal. But this data actually correlates with yours, pretty decent. It doesn't always happen that way, but it seems to have pretty decent correlation. So that's another, confirmation, if you will, right?
Okay.
Another thing to kind of look at too is if I just look at the Bollinger Bands,
Mhm.
I, I actually let me pull up the other way. Yeah, if I just look at the Bollinger Bands, is actually pretty interesting too, because what you're really seeing here is that Nvidia is having a pretty significant uptrend, right? And as you're
Yes.
saying, like, whenever you see the Bollinger Band expansion, being crazy like this, it's almost like a crocodile
Mhm.
opening its mouth, right? And right
Yes,
now the
exactly.
crocodile
I
is
like the
opening its
term.
mouth like the entire way down. The jaw is like dropped all the way down. Like, I can't even see like where the bottom of the jaw is, right? So
Mm,
whenever you have something like this, like people always worry about, is this the top? Is this the top? Let's look at what
mm.
happened over the last previous cycles, right?
Okay.
If you look at this cycle over here, just the previous cycle, it didn't the lower Bollinger Band didn't really quite drop down all the way to the floor, but it did drop down significantly, right? But it didn't really start, the trend didn't really get to start getting exhausted until the Bollinger Band started to contract again, right?
Mm,
So in general, it seems that at least based on the last couple of cycles, I'm going to show you a cycle before that too. When the Bollinger Band starts to contract again, that's when you might start to need to get worried that the trend might start to get exhausted, right?
mm.
Same thing for the cycle before that. You can see the Bollinger Band, the crocodile's mouth open all the way, jaw drop all the way down, right?
Yes.
But the trend didn't really stop until the Bollinger Band starts to come back and starts to contract again, right? That's when you
Mm,
might worry that maybe the bull trend's getting a little bit exhausted, right? So, and even the same thing happened over here too. Like, you see the Bollinger Band comes back, and that's when you might be needing to worry to avoid, going down like, 5 months in a row over here, right? So right now the Bollinger Band's all the way down. Like there's no sign for exhaustion at all. The 20-month moving
mm,
average is nicely curling up, right? So there's
mm.
also not really any like sign for it rolling over or anything like that, or decelerating or anything like that. It's like so nicely rolling up. So I think that's a confirmation that, the bull trend probably will continue. And this is just a
Mhm.
little bit of a sideways action here.
So,
I'm gonna,
is this a weekly chart or monthly chart?
this is a monthly chart. Yeah.
Monthly chart.
This is
Okay.
a monthly chart. Yeah. So if you look at the downtrend over here, because it's a monthly chart, this is all like
Mm,
2022, right? if you draw a rough Fibonacci level from the peak from like the end of 2021 to the bottom that you see on 2020.
100 and something. Yeah.
Yeah, what do you see, Danny?
Okay, so which level are we hitting? Oh, so I have to hold on. I
You
have
got
to
a
hold
small
on to the
screen. I'm
screen.
just yeah, it's okay. So you got a small screen, but basically what happened is like it basically retraced everything and then it hit the
Mm.
1.618 Fibonacci extension level, right? Around
Oh
500.
yes, I remember at that time Nvidia was just stagnant. It didn't move. It was just
Yeah.
trading. It was just range bound probably between 400 something 400 for I don't remember exactly the price. So 400 and 450 something like this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
basically, yeah, between like 400 and like 500, like just kind of bounce between
Yeah.
those two levels, right? So
Mm.
it didn't really do a whole lot of things for like half a year, forming like
Yeah.
scalp before going
Yeah,
up higher,
I
right?
remember at the time
Yeah,
many people were screaming, were shouting that you know that also so it's sort of
yeah,
the head and shoulder pattern, and
the
then
head and
Nvidia
shoulder
was
pattern, yeah.
going to crash to $300 or even below that. Yeah.
The head and shoulder pattern right
Yeah,
there, yeah.
yeah,
Everybody's
exactly. It looks
talking
like the
about
head and shoulder pattern.
it.
Okay.
People were talking about two things. People were talking about the head and shoulder pattern that didn't work out, and I didn't think it would work out
Mm,
because I thought that it's still a very powerful bull trend. It was finding support in the bull
yes.
and support band, so I thought it was just going to have continuation, right? And sure
Yeah.
enough, like it did. Most head and shoulder patterns actually don't necessarily work out. Like you have to really take into consideration. But
Yeah,
this is the first thing that
and at
triggers
that
the one.
time.
Yeah,
Exactly. So and at that time I was checking on my system the well accumulation on the monthly and also weekly charts. So actually all this data show me that the well accumulation was still very healthy.
yeah,
As far as I can remember, all above 80 or 85%. So if the well accumulation was that heavy, I shouldn't be worried or panic. I'll just like those retail investors. So that's why. Okay, so I just don't worry at all. Okay, okay. When it looks like the head and shoulder pattern at that
yeah.
time.
And then the same thing happened. In addition to the head and shoulder pattern, you also have this like big bearish engulfing candle that everybody was showing. And everybody's saying, oh, this is the top. Like you got
Yes.
like a hammer top right here. You got a bearish engulfing candle that's going to go all the way down to like the 200-300s, you know. But I just didn't really find that to be likely.
Mm,
And neither did your system. Like your system showed that everything was still fine. And sure
yes,
enough, like,
exactly.
yeah, the next one just basically just filled a wick here with a candle, but it didn't really go too much further down, you know. And
Mm,
if you would have just held into this period and don't do anything cute, next thing you know, you were just double your money. So
mm.
yeah, and right now,
Easy
like
money. If you follow
nothing's
all your
easy, man.
signals and my signals.
No, nothing's easy, but you know, you have to trust your system, right? You have to
Exactly.
know
So
that your
we have
system.
to have that conviction. We have to trust
Right.
our systems,
Right.
our TA.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty simple in terms of what NVIDIA is doing. It basically hit 1.618, got rejected, passed through, slices through 2.618, got rejected at 3.618 here. Kind of trying to backtest the 2.618, but didn't really quite get there. Again, this like
Mm,
hammer looking candle, people were worried that this could be like a top, but again, like I don't know. I don't really buy into any of that, especially on the monthly chart. Like look at these hammer candles over here in the past that like that didn't work out, right? Like this hammer candle over
yes.
here, it just had bullish continuation. This hammer candle over here is just a bullish continuation, right? This hammer over here, just a bullish continuation, right? So don't worry about it.
Okay. Yeah. Thanks. Thanks for your assurance.
Yeah, yeah. And then the other thing to look at too is the Ichimoku cloud, just real quick.
Mm,
I like to look at Ichimoku cloud because it really gives you like a very good snapshot in terms of what's happening. There are two lines I generally look at. The blue line is the Tenkan or the conversion line, and the red line is the Kijun or the
mm,
baseline. Generally, if you have a bullish cross, and this is the monthly chart, right? So you have a bullish cross, if the blue got above the red over here, you have a bull trend that can last for like 2 to 4 years, because look at the last cycle over here. You
okay.
have bullish cross over here, it
Mm,
lasts for like at least 2 years, right? And then the last
mm,
cycle before that, you have a bullish cross over here and it lasted for like 5 years. So
mm.
these semiconductor, bull cycle can go on for quite some time. And
Yeah.
you just have, a bullish cross over here. So who knows how long this is going to last,
And this bullish cycle only lasts for 1.5 years.
The last one, it went on
I,
even.
I mean, this one,
Oh, this
the
one
most
currently?
updated one.
Yes, it's
Yeah,
if you
the
look at
recent
the
one, the
cross.
recent bullish cycle.
I mean, if you count for the bottom, it's been going on for like a year and a half ish, maybe a little
Yes.
longer. But if you count for the
So,
bullish cross,
mm,
then I think it's only been like a year.
okay, thanks.
Yeah. So that's something to pay attention to. The other thing to pay attention to why this price ended up moving sideways for the last 3 months, there's a very good reason for that, is because Tenkan, the blue line, generally during a
Mm,
bull market, it serves as support to push price up, and if price gets a little bit too far from it, it tends to go
mm,
sideways to wait for the blue line to catch up with it, or it just ends up dropping back down to test the blue line, sometimes the red line, right? So
mm, mm.
so whenever you have like this sideways over here for like, can you imagine how painful it was for people who went through like 8 months of sideways just to wait for the Tenkan to catch up before, further bullish continuation? Can you imagine how painful it was for people to like wait sideways for like
Yes,
almost
yeah.
5 months?
Sideways movement for a few months, for five
I
months,
know,
4 months.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then next thing you know, like things got way too far. Sometimes they just back test the blue line and the red line over here, right? So right now we didn't really quite back test the blue line because the trend is just so strong. But I think the month of April did have a wick down to try to get a little bit closer to it so that it won't be way too far extended, not unlike the wick up here on March. So I think this is
Mm.
some pretty healthy correction sideways kind of thing
Yes,
to try to do
healthy
over.
pullback, healthy correction, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, very, very healthy, very healthy. And also, if you're
Mm,
looking at the other momentum indicator to see, if you're worried about it being overbought, I mean, sure, it's being overbought on the monthly, but
mm.
look at the past cycles, like it can stay overbought for a very long time.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. And then the RSI is
Yeah, the
pointing
overbought
into,
pattern can be overbought more
yeah,
further. Yeah.
like it got overbought here for like 3 years, and it got overbought here for
Mm,
like a year and a half. So
mm,
it can stay overbought for a long time. And RSI is also making higher highs and higher lows.
mm.
So it's not really seeing
Yeah.
any trend exhaustion. Even if you have a trend exhaustion where RSI is going down, price can still
Mm,
go up on this bearish divergence, right? We're not even seeing any like, lower highs and lower low yet on the RSI. I think if this cycle looks anything like the cycle in like 2016, we might be like right around here, which is
mm.
crazy to think about. I don't want to
Yeah.
just assume that. Let's assume that we might be like around here, right? Um,
Mm.
there might still be room to go up.
Yeah.
So
Let's hope for the best.
we hope for the best. Watch for any warning signs, right? Like, okay,
Yes.
so far there's
And
no, yeah.
if you find the topping signals, so are you the first one to let us know?
Well,
Are you the
yeah,
first one to let the followers know?
we talked about too, like the Bullinger Band on a
Yeah.
monthly, right? If you see a
Yeah.
Bullinger Band start to contract, you're like, okay, the trend may be starting to get exhausted, right? Or
Mm,
if you start to see some of these like high, like the lower highs and things like that on the R side, and you're starting to think, okay, this trend may be starting to get exhausted, stop being like over leveraged. You can still hold it, but just be careful, right?
mm.
So
Yes.
those are some of the warning signs here. Like here, the cycle it didn't really make lower highs, but it just kind of trying to break above this horizontal zone, just having a hard time breaking through
Mm,
when
mm,
you
mm.
yeah, and it just kind of broke down. So
Yeah.
yeah, so I think that there are a lot of
So do you think the similar pattern is going to take place as well?
we'll see. So far
Yeah.
there's no
Okay, we
sign for
will see
trend
when in check.
exhaustion. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's no sign for trend exhaustion. Even if you look at the 2 week chart, it's still
Mm,
making like these higher highs and higher lows. Like it's not really exhausted. If you look at the
mm.
weekly, it's still making higher highs and higher lows.
Yes.
So there's not really any.
Absolutely stunning.
Yeah, and matter of fact, like if you look at the weekly, I just wanted to kind of show you this. If you look at a weekly, it has a very, very nice bullish or hidden bullish divergence actually, because price went all the way up from like here, from like 400 or 500 all the way up to the current
Mm,
place around like
mm,
700, 800, right? But the
mm,
RSI like on the weekly, it got reset downwards. Like it cooled down, even
mm.
though price
Okay.
went up like 60, 70%, but the RSI went down and cooled down. Like this is classic bullish divergence or hidden
Mm,
bullish divergence. And that allows
mm.
the RSI to cool down a lot more for it to kind of push price up for the next like higher.
Yeah. So there's a reset of the
Yeah.
RSI signal again.
Yeah, I'm not seeing anything bad here. Like some people call
Mm,
this weekly candle from like 3 weeks ago, we call it like the bullish harami, which is an
mm, mm.
inside
Okay.
candle to this,
Mm,
giant red candle over here. Some of these things can signal like reversal, but I mean, it doesn't
mm.
always work out that way. But And a lot of people might be scared about this like hammer candle over here as the top is going to go down from there. Like, don't worry about it.
Okay, okay. Thank you.
Yeah,
You have
yeah,
your assurance.
yeah. So I think those are the key thing. Like what I'm seeing confirms what you're seeing.
Okay. So we now so up to now we have multiple indicators, okay, pointing to a bullish trend of Nvidia.
Yes, we have your system. We have
Yes.
we have the traditional, technical analysis. I mean, when I'm talking about traditional technical analysis, I'm not talking about like just, oh, see that there's a hammer top candle. That's gonna be it.
Yes.
But like it doesn't work that way, right? The trend is still bullish. The bull market support band is still serving as support for the bull market, right? Until it
Mhm.
doesn't, until it became the bear market, then it dropped underneath, back tested, and failed to hold. That's when the bear market
Mhm.
starts, right? So
Yeah.
I think this was around the time where it did the back test and failed. That was when your sell
Mhm.
signal flashed on the monthly last time.
Mhm. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So we
So
count on you for telling us
I
the sales signals one day.
no advice, nothing. I'm just showing you
I
what
know,
I'm
of course.
seeing. I'm just showing you what I'm seeing, but it's always nice to get like confirmation, if anything,
Yes.
just for like educational, intellectual purposes. Because
Mm.
honestly, if the best thing you can do is like to not pay attention to these things and lose money, and you try to like pay attention to these things, and and then
Mm.
that way you have like more years of potential to make money from, So,
Mm.
um, but anyway, yeah, I think that's it for me. Anything else you want to add, man?
No, so far
Yeah.
so good. Okay. Thanks a lot for your update, Kat.
Yeah. No, thanks for the collaboration. It's been
Yeah,
fun.
my pleasure.
Yeah.
So
All
I,
right.
when
Yeah.
doing the recording, I was extremely nervous because this is my first time I have spoken English on the social media.
I think I can speak for everybody that your English is just
No, I haven't used English for a long time.
your
So thank you
your
for giving me the chance and
your
those
English is better
honor
than my Cantonese. I
collaboration
can
with
say
you.
that. I can say that for sure.
Thanks a lot. Okay,
All right,
million
man.
thanks, Mr.
Take
Cat.
care. Bye.
Okay, take care too. Okay,
Yep. Bye-bye.
okay, bye bye. Have a good day.
Yep. I'm finally able to film an English version of the video with my friend Danny. So Danny is most active on X. You can find him on Danny Cheng 2022. And you can also see that he has a Patreon there as well with the link with his handle being Danny Trades. He has a very unique system, and it's always good to have more confirmation to, try and figure out what you're looking at. And it's always good to have people who are friendly and nice who are able to share ideas with you. So here we go.